What's up guys, it's Avery here. I love real estate. I love owning rental property and everything associated with it. But many people do not want to own rental property because of tenants. How could you possibly deal with someone else's crap if you can't even deal with your own? Simple answer, either you flush it or you call a handyman. But many people still don't want to have tenants. And there's one really easy and super beneficial way to invest in real estate without tenants and walking away with $500,000 in tax-free capital gains. So the real estate market is absolutely nuts. About as nuts as you are, waiting for me to tell you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, smash that like button and tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on any tips for investing in real estate and things that you can do with your money in order to build your wealth. And also, you're really waiting for me to tell you to join my Patreon so you can get some more one-on-one time with me. With a traditional rental property, typically you go buy a property and then rent it out. And not everyone wants to do this because all you get is monthly cash flow, principal paydown, equity gains, and tax write-offs. And I know those things aren't for everybody. And there's a different strategy that you can take up that allows you to invest in real estate and get a lot of the gains without having to deal with tenants. But before we get into the strategy, let's sit in my stinking hot car and talk about today's video sponsor, Cover Insurance. Cover Insurance focuses on car insurance, and I was able to just go through the process of getting a quote, which took me less than 5 minutes, and all I had to do was fill out some basic information, name, email, phone number, you name it, and you're gonna have a quote in less than 5 minutes. And I was able to do this and get a quote that was less than my current car insurance provider. And this is typical for most people who switch to Cover, and their rates can be as low as $35 a month. And it's great for those people who are starting to build a credit profile and gain experience in the car insurance world. And the great thing about Cover is you can have an advisor who you can talk to via text. No worries about talking to someone over the phone, but you can text someone and they will help you immediately. And it's really great if you're in your 20s and you're just trying to increase your car insurance profile and build up that credit. And if you're in your teens and you're on your parents' policy, do them a favor and use Cover to lower your part of the bill. And Cover can also spot customers up to $250 to get started, and no other insurance company does this, but make sure you sign up with my referral link down below, www.app.cover.com/Avery Heilbron if you want to get that $250. And every time you use Cover and get someone else to sign up, you can earn yourself a $25 Amazon gift card. So go ahead, check out Cover, less than 5 minutes, and you can get great rates on your car insurance. So that best strategy would be known as the live-in flip. And many people are interested in flipping right now because they're watching HGTV and they think it's super easy. You just buy a house, fix it up, and then sell it for more than the cost of the home plus the cost of those renovations. And once people realize it's not actually that simple and they actually get into the renovation, they start hurrying it up a little bit and they just paint the house some neutral wall color as well as put down some mismatched floors. And it ends up not looking very good, but they still sell the house to someone who has a bad eye for design. So instead of doing that, you could use the live-in flip strategy where you buy a house, live in it for the last 2 of 5 years, and then sell it tax-free for up to $500,000 in capital gains. And while you're living in there, you can do some actually solid renovations and sell it to someone knowing that you created an actually nice space to live. It's really that simple. You just go buy a property and then live in it the last 2 of 5 years before you sell it, so you can get that tax-free capital gains exemption. And if you're single, you would get $250,000 of tax-free capital gains. And if you're married, you as a couple would get $500,000 of tax-free capital gains. So it is really a lot of money for specific areas of wherever you're living or whatever jurisdiction you're in. In some other places, you might have seen a far greater increase in your home value in those last 2 to 5 years than that $500,000 amount. So it really is a great hedge against all of this appreciation you're earning without having to pay so much back to the government. So if you can buy a place that is in need of some repairs that you can force appreciation to and then allow the market to do its thing and appreciate your home, then you can sell it for this higher price than what you purchased it for. And the way they figure it out is your purchase price, so that cost basis. So if you bought a home for $100,000 and then they add in the repairs, now they have a specific type of repairs that are associated with this cost that you can add to figure out your cost basis. But let's say you did $20,000 worth of repairs. So that's $120,000 that you've put into this home. Now it's increased in value over the past 5 years, and you sell it for $320,000. So now once you've sold it, you get $320 minus $120, which is $200,000 of tax-free capital gains. Now in terms of those repairs, I'm not a CPA, so make sure you reach out to one to figure out what your actual cost basis is. I might be a CPU, a little bit robotic in my voice, but I am not a CPA, so make sure you reach out to one to figure out exactly what those repairs are. So this is a really great strategy, and unlike a flip, you have no tax burden. So when you purchase a flip and then sell it, you maybe make $40,000, and that's awesome, but that $40,000 is taxed, and it's tax dependent on how you set up your structures and whatnot, but typically it will be taxed at your earned income rate, which could be extremely high. And you did all of this work and you feel like you made a lot of money, but giving it all back to the government really sucks, and that's not exactly what you want to do. So if you can just live in this house and then do it a little bit more slowly and do this a few times over the course of your adult life and buy a couple houses, fix them up, and then sell them for a lot of gains, then you're going to be extremely wealthy without ever having to deal with tenants. The other great thing about it, like I've said, is there are no tenants, so you don't feel as rushed to do some of those renovations. I've done renovations with tenants living in the current space, and it can be difficult to manage. And instead of just dealing with the tenants, all you have to do is deal with your spouse and argue about which paint color or which type of renovation that you want to do. So it really is just perfect. So I said a lot of positives about this strategy, and one that I think many people should take up, and especially those who do not want to handle tenants. And there are some negatives associated with the strategy, and the first thing would be you can't time the market. Just because you buy a house and then fix it up and make it better doesn't mean that 2 years later it will be worth more. Potentially you bought at the height of the market and it could have crashed, so maybe now you have to hold it on for longer. And the other things that you don't get with this live and flip strategy are the regular things that you do get with investing in rental property. You don't get principal pay down, you don't get monthly cash flow, you don't get the appreciation of that specific rental property and that note being paid down by your tenants, which are all awesome things. And you also don't get any tax write-offs, but you do get that fat $500,000 of capital gains tax-free. Actually, this 3-family that I'm currently sitting in, someone purchased it as an owner-occupied property, lived in it for 4 years, didn't pay the mortgage the entire time, as well as took out a second mortgage, and not only did they have all of that debt associated to their name, they hadn't paid taxes in a number of years and owed the IRS $50,000. So come closing day, you would think that they would be kind of screwed and lose a lot of money. But because of the crazy appreciation in the Boston market, this particular person walked away with over $100,000 in tax-free capital gains. Now, I'm not sure how they deployed that next, but just think about how crazy this strategy is. Just because you're able to live in a house and then let the market ride or fix it up a little bit, you can make a lot of money. So this is a very doable, very easy strategy that anybody could do. And you don't necessarily have to be handy and fix it up yourself, but that could definitely help because you could save a lot of money on that repair cost and that budget and potentially put that money towards the next live and flip. So if you do this strategy a few times, maybe 3 to 5 times over the course of your adult life, you would have a lot of money to be able to invest into other assets and into more real estate. So hope you guys enjoyed that video and got a good idea of what you could do if you're trying to get into real estate, but you don't want to deal with tenants. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends so more people know how to do this stuff. And thanks again for watching, and hope to see you guys next time.